I'm gonna try something real quick. Hold on. And I just like let go of the door and I just try and force my way through the water that's pouring through and like just barrel straight ahead and see if I either hit anything or get through like a wall.
Meanwhile, the rest of us are screaming, "Oh!"
Yes.
Well, that was alarming.
So,
I didn't even. I didn't even cast hideous laughter. I don't know what that was.
yeah, I know it's not horrifying at all, right? I guess the rest of us should like take up positions behind him just in case anything else fucking happens here, right? Like,
If nothing else happens after that, I'm gonna take out like my water skin and splash some water on his face.
As this all happens, a moment passes by where you all just like pause and kind of like look. And there is this kind of shifting in the ground, this rumbling deep below you. And you start to hear this sound as things creak and crack. And cracks start forming all along the wall of the chamber that you guys are in. They start breaking through the seals that are all along the walls. And in front of you, this large door kind of starts to shift over to the side.
would you say it's an incredibly tall door?
No, I would not say it's an incredibly tall door. I would say it's an incredibly wide door.
That's just tall on its side.
You know what? You got me there, bud. And as this all starts to happen, Michelle points at Sir Roland and leans over to Jean and goes, "Go get him." And you see Jean kind of like start running across the floor, and he like kneels down and starts to like try to revive Sir Roland. And he's just kind of like there. He's like poking him and shaking him and doing all he can. And as all this is continuing, the door finally stops moving, and this huge torrent of water starts to pour out of the door.
Oh, great. It's like The Shining.
We're here.
Okay. So
Or the
torrent of
rescuers.
water. Okay.
Whichever you prefer.
As this starts to happen, Michel runs forward and puts his hand on Sir Roland's shoulder, and he casts Lay on Hands on you, Sir Roland, and you kind of snap out awake.
Roland wakes up, and as he wakes up, he says, "I could wipe it all away. I could wipe it all away."
And
what happened?
Michel looks down at you and he goes, "You'll have to save that for later, boy. We got some other problems." Durza charges forward towards this door. What are the rest of you gonna do?
I don't fucking know what's happening.
I'm assuming that Durza is going to try to like close the door, so I am going to do my best to like I'll sheath my rapier, run up, and try to assist her in closing it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Roland-
I was going to say, if it looks like they're going to try and close the door, I will also try and help close the door.
Well, I guess we're all fucking doing that.
Okay, so all three of you roll me perception checks, please. And Sir Roland, what were you going to say?
I was going to say, yeah, I join them. I see that there's a crisis developing, and Roland goes to try and shut the door with
17.
12.
11.
Do you want one from me?
Not right now.
Okay.
Orlo, as you make your way over to the door, you're helping Laya and Emmerin and Durza start to like try to pull this door closed. And being that you're a hair taller than the rest of them, you kind of like see over their heads, and you see further on into the room ahead of you. And you can see that there's this wall almost of water in front of you, but it's not where the water's coming from. But there is something inside of it.
So does it look like we can go through the water then? Like,
It would be. You think it would be possible from the way that it looks.
okay, so I'm just gonna say, I'm gonna try something real quick. Hold on. And I just like let go of the door and I just try and force my way through the water that's pouring through and like just barrel straight ahead and see if I either hit anything or get through like a wall.
Meanwhile, the rest of us are screaming, "Oh!"
Yes. You push your way through. It's difficult. The water is coming down, and as you're kind of like you make your way through the like past the door, you can see that it's coming from above you to the left, where all this water is pouring out of, and you just kind of keep pushing through it, and you just push yourself straight forward into this wall, and as you do, it feels like you had just jumped into the lake that you used to swim in when you were younger. Just this serene kind of calm water as you just push your way into it.
So am I like underwater at this
Yes.
point? Okay. Can I breathe?
No.
This is unfortunate. Okay, so then I guess I leave and go back the way I came, if possible.
Okay. So just to be clear, what you do see though, as you push your way into it, ahead of you in this water is this small statue-like figure that's sitting on top of what looks to be like a shell.
Okay, well, beings that I'm already in here, I guess I'm gonna try. How far away is it, or how far away can I tell? Like roughly.
It's roughly like 60 feet away from you. It's enough that it's a bit of a swim, but it's not out of the realm of you like thinking you could reach it.
All right, so I'm gonna just like kind of dash towards it, swim as quickly as possible, and try and pick up the statue off of the shell.
Okay. Make one Constitution saving throw first, just to see how you're doing on holding your breath.
10.
Okay. So you're not doing great, but you're still pushing through. And you make your way forward. You swim, and you're not used to swimming. It's something that you used to do a lot, but under the stressful circumstances that it's in, you're in a bit of a panic. Reasonably, you start swimming forward, and again, you're just in this almost like glass bubble of water, just in the middle of this mountain. And all around you, you can just see the rocks and things as you're kind of just swimming. And you reach out and you put your hand on this figure. And as you grab it, you kind of hear more of this cracking and breaking ahead of you. As you can see the wall start to kind of shift and break as more water starts to pour through. But it's pouring over top of you, not through. So you're still just kind of in this middle of this little bubble, just very calm, while all this chaos is unfolding around you.
A metaphor for Orlo himself.
Boy, is it actually.
But I can't breathe.
You're not out of breath, but you're obviously gonna start struggling real fast.
So do I notice, since the water is calm, do I notice any other way out other than the way I came?
You're pretty much in the middle of this bubble, and you can go any direction, but the only way that seems even remotely safe is back.
And when I pick this up, does anything happen?
Nothing happens, but if you would like to take a look at it closer, I can explain to you what it is now.
Okay.
It is this conch shell that has an octopus that is like kind of molded into the top of it. As the tentacles kind of wrap down and around and inside of the conch shell, and it looks like you could blow into it like you would to play a sound or music.
Okay. So I'm already running out of breath. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna hold the statue in my trunk and start using my limbs to like swim back
Okay.
towards where I came. But I also want to put the shell to my mouth with my trunk and like try and blow through it as I'm swimming back.
Okay. Make a Constitution saving throw first. We'll see how that's going.
It's going terrible. 5.
Great, perfect. You start swimming back, and you're like trying not to run out of air as you're swimming back towards the group, but you kind of push out this little bit of like. As you do, you said you have the shell against your mouth, correct?
Mm-hmm.
You feel this horrible feeling as you feel these tiny little sucker tentacles push down your throat.
Okay, I use my trunk to rip it, try and pull it like out.
Go ahead and make an athletics check.
10.
That does not work. The little octopus crawls down your throat, and as it does, you can breathe.
I have been octopied.
Occupado.
No occupancy.
I can breathe now.
You can.
I guess I continue swimming back the way I came still. I know I can breathe and all, but France.
Sure. Yeah, so you make your way back out to them, and you push your way out of the bubble, and you're just in this torrent of water now that's pushing towards them, and they're still trying to pull this door shut, and they're starting to make some headway, but it's not going super well.
Where's Jean at?
Everybody is now at the door trying to kind of help pull it closed.
So
Why
I
don't you
hold
pick on
out.
Gene.
So I'm like, "Hey, Jean, come here real quick." I just, long story short, I got this shell. Can you blow into it for me real quick?
And he does.
Oh, don't resist, by the way.
He
As he's
immediately
blowing
panics.
it.
And-
Roland sees what's going on. He sees the exchange, and he sees Gene start to panic. He says, "What are you doing?" And he runs over and he tries to rip the shell out of Gene's hand.
And as you pull it away, you see this little tiny octopus as it's starting to crawl into Gene's mouth.
Roland's gonna try and yank the octopus out of it.
Go ahead and make an athletics check.
A 19.
As he's doing that, Orlo wants to grab his wrist before it reaches him with his trunk.
Make
If
a
possible.
Make a dexterity saving throw, Orlo.
23.
And then make an athletics check, both of you, please.
Nat 20.
Wow.
Damn, I rolled a
So
2 on the die.
Oh,
for an
no.
25. Hey.
So Sir Roland, you reach out and you like go to grab a hold of this thing, and as it's starting to like just be far enough where you almost can't, you feel Orlo's trunk wrap around your wrist and just kind of yank as you watch the rest of it kind of crawl down Jean's throat.
Roland's going to turn around and draw his sword on Orlo and say, "What have you done? What did you do?"
The same thing that I did to myself. Jean, come with me.
Jean's standing there and he's like, huh?
And I just grab Jean by the wrist and like pull him in through the water.
Okay. And Jean comes, like, as he enters the water, he starts to panic, and then he just goes,
Yeah, and I just like point to my mouth and throat and just like give a thumbs up.
Roland sheathes his sword and picks up the conch. And he looks over at Michelle and he says, "If I change, you kill me." And he blows into the conch.
The same thing happens. This little tiny octopus comes out and it crawls down your throat.
Does Roland feel any different?
You feel icky. It doesn't feel good. But you don't feel any different other than the fact that you're not standing underwater actively, so you can still breathe normally, so you wouldn't notice anything immediately different.
Okay, Roland's going to take a second and toss the conch to Emmerin.
I'm gonna take a sniff of it. Like, Fey Fiend.
It smells like salt water and ozone.
Salt water and ozone. I don't trust it. I don't trust any of you. The only person I trust is Orlo.
What?
That's a terrible idea.
I
What
can
just
trust him
happened?
to do incredibly stupid things. That is something in Emmerin's head where he's like, I don't trust any of you except for Orlo because I know he's going to be stupid. I can trust that.
What a development.
Like anything at all about this item? Like,
If you would
it's
like
so
to take
unknown that
the time to like really look it over, I'm going to need to make an investigation check with disadvantage because you are actively in the middle of a shitstorm.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like the water is like filling up pretty quick, right? So
Yeah, it's starting to.
all right, so he'll do the same thing then, blow in the conch, throw it off to Durza.
Durza just
Fuck you guys too.
Durza looks at it and just hands it to you, Laya. She's not having it.
And I'll just like make a face and and then blow into it.
Same thing happens.
Gross.
Take a big inhale, pass to the left.
Puff puff pass.
So it is you, Durza, and Michelle standing there still.
Right. Since Durza didn't want to partake. After watching them, I'm gonna how high is the water now? Like waist deep?
We're starting to get up to like mid chest to shoulders.
Cool. Then I'll like duck down into the water and test it out.
Yeah, you can breathe with no problem.
So I'll pop back up and try to hand it back to Durza and be like, it'll let you breathe. You have to do it.
I can breathe on my own.
You fucking cannot, you stupid.
Not if you,
Say it, Emmerin.
not if you're drowning. Now do it. And I'm just gonna kind of like shove it into her face. I would really like to shove my conch into Durza's face.
There it is. She seductively blows on your conch.
She plays the opening.
Stop. My ears can only get so erect.
She plays the opening sax riff to Careless Whisper.
And she watches this as this thing starts to crawl down in her mouth, and she like grabs it by the head, and she's just holding it. And she just looks over at you and goes, "I don't like this."
I don't either, but it's this or die.
I'd rather die. And then she lets go of it.
Clearly, rather die.
Roland's going to point at the conch shell and say, Michelle, allons, come on.
And I'll just grab it from Durza and hand it over to Michelle.
And he like looks at it and looks at it at you, Sir Roland, and he's like, "Not the weirdest thing I've done this week," and he blows into it. So now you are all.
Oh, wait, I need to make sure Buttonhead blows on it.
Buttonhead is fine.
Okay.
Imagine Buttonhead doesn't breathe per se.
Correct.
But he's not like floating away or anything.
I
He's
mean-
okay.
Oh yeah, I guess.
You might want to hold on to him or like put him in a pocket, but he can breathe.
I'm gonna try to like. I'm gonna be like, I'm really sorry about this, and like put him into my backpack.
He just slides into the backpack.
So are you guys going through the water wall at this point? Because
Yeah, at this point, I'm gonna start following Orlo now that everybody's
so
gotten
as
high.
yeah, if you're going first, the first thing you see when you go through the water wall is just me like swimming past Jean as fast as I can over and over again.
Sir Roland and Michelle and Jean. Jean not as much, but definitely you, Sir Roland, and definitely Michelle. You're having a real hard time with not moving, but you can't swim very well in all of that armor. You can definitely walk along like the ground, but you are going to have a very difficult time if you want to actively swim.
Roland's going to, I guess, make his way to a wall and try and sort of, with the buoyancy that's, given him by the water, try and like find handholds and climb his way up.
Okay. There is a very clear way up from here now that you guys have taken a moment and can breathe and not panicking. If you want, Sir Roland, if you will give me an athletics check, please.
Uh, 17.
Okay. Michel stands over next to you and he looks up and he kind of points and he's you know him and you know his propensity to make everything a competition. And he's not gonna not do it with this. So he kind of like steals himself a little bit and he pushes off the ground and like grabs the first handhold and starts climbing.
Roland's going to try his best to beat this dude.
Okay.
But he's also going to try and keep an eye on Jean and make sure that he's not like lost in the dark at the bottom of it.
Tell you what, Emmerin's gonna swim down, grab Jean, make sure he comes up, gives you a thumbs up, and then like beat this fucker.
The rest of you will have no problem swimming, and even you, Emmerin. Jean can swim a little bit, but with you helping him, it's no problem at all. So as you guys kind of swim up and surface, you're not up at the surface. You're just in another part of the cavern. But you surface up, and it's a big opening above you, and there's this almost beach-like area to the left of you that you could pull yourself out of the water onto. And
All right.
as you guys, sorry, I, I was just catching my breath. As you
Oh,
guys
yeah,
pull yourselves out, once you get out, Sir Roland, you pull yourself up out of the water just a few seconds before Michelle does. And just as you're about to get up to the top, he kind of like reaches for your foot, and you can feel him like grabbing along your toes as he's trying to yank you back down. But you pop out of the water first before he does.
Roland's going to turn around and help Michelle out of the water.
He'll reluctantly grab your arm as you help pull him out of the water.
You're all getting fat, mon frere.
Yeah, well, you aren't getting any smarter, so.
And I'll make sure if I surface before Jean does, I'll make sure to help him out of the water.
Heard. Anything you guys want to do now that you have exited the water?
Let Buttonhead out of my backpack.
He is very happy to come out of the backpack.
What do we see when we exit the water?
So it is still very dark in this area. Would one of you like to light a torch to see?
Yeah, Roland's going to do his best to light one of his soggy torches.
While they are a bit soggy, they are still made with, animal fat and lard and all kinds of good grease. So they do spark up pretty quickly. And
Do we have any vegan torches?
no,
I actually have one vegan torch here.
I mean, I suppose you have Buttonhead. That's about as close as you're gonna get.
If that's how you want to die.
I did. What? I didn't suggest it. God did.
Yeah, as you spark this torch up, like I said, it's almost like you're in the back of a cave or water, like an underwater cave. The ceiling is quite high. It's still damp in here as opposed to where you were coming from as it started getting closer to the lava flows, and you can see as you kind of look around, there's a little bit of a crest to the hill in front of you. And as you walk up over that hill, you can see, but there's a small amount of light just kind of cracking through. There's a very low ceiling that kind of dives deeper into the water, but underneath of that, you can see what looks to be like daylight coming from the other side.
It's fucking beeline.
That
We
seems
got the
like
tool. We got the tool to get to fucking El Haya now. So let's get out of here.
Uh-huh.
Go on, get.
As you guys swim through, you surface on the other side, and obviously swimming through is not a problem. And for you, Roland and Michelle, it's not a very deep pool, so it was very easy for you to just kind of keep yourself on the bottom of it and walk through, or just manually pull yourself through. And as you guys make your way onto the other side of it, you pop up on the far side of the island, opposite of where you came in, and you can see back behind you the city as it's kind of leaned up against the volcano and the hill that you had just kind of climbed through. But you're down, like I said, low, about beach level, and as you look back over your shoulder, you hear this big crack, and you see smoke start to kind of pour out of the top of the top of the hill out of the volcano, and you just feel this low rumble start again, and you can kind of feel the ground shake below you. And to your left, out in towards the ocean, you see this storm kind of start to crackle on the horizon, and you just hear this deep voice come from the waves. And it's the voice that you would recognize as Lady Alhaya. And she once again just says, "Come and get me. But I bet you can't."
Bitch.
And that is where we will end.